And good evening, or good afternoon, or good morning, depending on where you are around the world. I'm Marcus Holmes, and I'm just closing out an Instagram, inviting folks to join us there. And I hope that you will click share and invite some folks to join us as I am doing the same. I hope you will. So as you're coming in, I hope you will click share and tag some folks to join us. I'm Marcus Holmes, and I'm excited that you will join us and click share to have some folks join us, whether you are watching on the Love and Stuff page, the Marcus R. Holmes page, or on Facebook, Twitch TV, or YouTube events. We are grateful that you are here. And I wanted to just, in the way of doing some housekeeping, if you've had not picked up a copy of Gratefulness Journey every day, what are you doing in the next 30 days to transform your life? It is available on Amazon. This is the paperback. You can get the paperback or you can get the ebook, either one, your choice. Support us. This is our first book and we're excited. And I just want to show you one more time. And in the way of housekeeping, we're on the Gratefulness Challenge. And so I'll talk about the Gratefulness Challenge a little bit in a few minutes, but you can join us. It's Tuesday through Saturday for the next several weeks. One thing you're grateful for every day. This week, we're focusing on our relationships. Are you in relationship with someone that you're grateful for? Make a post about it and hashtag Gratefulness Challenge so that I can track with you, or tag Love and Stuff in it and we can track together. And on Saturday at 3:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we will get together on live and just share. So I've shared this content on another site on Instagram, and I hope that you will click share. All right, I see a few folks have joined us. Corey Reed has joined us. Sewell Dwayne has joined us. Why don't both of you click share and tag someone? I'm going to tag just a few more people to join us so that as we build our numbers, we'll have more people in what I think is an exciting conversation that evolved from a post. And I started to go back and look at some of the discussions we've had around this very topic, and it started some dialogue in inbox. And now I got some great opinions, which we love here in Love and Stuff, on an important topic for many. And so take a moment and click share and tag someone to join us in the discussion. I am just going to tag a few more folks to join us in the discussion. What's the discussion? The discussion is about whether or not, if it's okay, ladies, okay, guys, to have friends of the opposite sex. And in this specific case, is it okay to have female friends, fellas? Ladies, is it okay for your husband, your boyfriend, your significant other to have female friends? And we're going to look at the post and see there are some really interesting comments from folks about whether or not they agree with that. And so I want you to just tag some folks to join us in the conversation. Hello, Christina. I'm so glad you're here. Will you please click share and tag someone to join us in this conversation, and be just prepared maybe for us to throw the link your way so that you can come on live with us. But I want you to click share. Somebody click share to some of your female friends. Ladies, click share to some of your male friends. And I'm going to take a quick little poll with you and ask for you to drop in the comments whether or not you have male friends, female friends. Hello, Karen Pooh. Thanks for joining us. Bilal, thanks for joining us. Both of you click share and tag 5 of your closest Facebook friends, 5 of your more popular Facebook friends to get in this exciting discussion. It's exciting to me because I saw a post and I said, that's a great topic. And I went delving through some of the topics, because there are some topics in the inbox that we have broached and some that we haven't, just waiting for the timing to be right for some of these topics. But we have this topic kind of in a different way. And so my cousin, which is going into my Gratefulness Challenge today, posted a post, and people started to comment. I thought, what a great topic. So I delved into the inbox and found several topics, but a couple of years ago, one of the topics that I just want to raise as we continue to move forward in this 4th year of our existence, and we're celebrating 4 years. So shout out to Love and Stuff and all of the people behind the scenes that really make this look fantastic and wonderful. If it is, it's because of all of the hard work that people do behind the scenes. So I'm clicking share. What about you? I want you to take a few moments to just click share. We're 5 minutes in, and I want us to build this audience. And the way we build it is by you clicking share and getting folks engaging with us. And if you've done that already, I want you to drop. Thank you, Valencia Sheila Tate. I want you to drop in the comments. Do you have friends of the opposite sex? Drop yes. If you're female, say yes, man. I probably can tell by your name, but just for those that may not be able to. Yes, men. Yes, women, ladies, girls, whatever. Yes, for a long time. Drop in the comments. Do you have friends of the opposite sex? Okay, drop that in the comments as I'm clicking share. We're live on Love and Stuff. I'm Marcus Holmes, the HR passion and love guy, a love activist. And I love that you are here with me on Tuesday night because I realize there's some stiff competition. Queen Sugar's on. I would watch Queen Sugar, except I'm going to watch it in the replay because I love the Love and Stuff community and I absolutely love being here with you. So why don't you help me to share it? I know we're not on and we don't have that big Queen Sugar budget, but I got you. And if I can have you click share and tag some of your friends to join in the conversation, I think you will be happy that they did to help us in this conversation. So I'm just going to click share, tag a few folks to join us in the discussion, and I hope that you will do the same thing. All right. And again, while we're doing that, I just want to remind you again, as I did at the outset, Gratefulness Journey Every Day is available on Amazon. You can get yours. Ebook or paperback, it's available for you. It's a short read, but it's a good read, I'm being told. I've got some great reviews, ladies and gentlemen who have already read it or purchased it. Please read it so you can give me a review. We need reviews on Amazon. We have a few and they're all 5-star. I appreciate that. But we need some more reviews there so that when people go and they're thinking about, hey, who is this new author? They'll think about purchasing the book when they look at reviews. Evelyn Graham has joined us. Okay. J. Gerald Harvey, I want you to be ready to bring Bilal, Christina, and Evelyn in. I want to have some discussion with them on this topic. Christina says, yes, I have friends of the opposite sex and some brothers in Christ. Come on, brothers in Christ. Bilal says, absolutely. Karen says, yes, I have male friends. Valencia says, yes. All right, keep it coming. Have you click share? If you haven't, click share. If you have, say done it. I done it. Done it. I need to know that you've done it. I need you to click share, get our numbers up a little bit more. I need them up a little bit higher. And I'm trying to tag people in it just to get the juices flowing. Because what we love here is to have a well-rounded perspective. And all of you bring a wealth of knowledge and energy. Thank you, Valencia. Done it. To this discussion. All right, Evelyn, click share. Somebody help Evelyn click share so she'll know how to click share. And once you click it, say done it. Done both, tag and share. Karen, you're going to be on staff. You keep it up. You're going to be on staff. I'm going to put you to work. I'm going to put you to work. I must admit, I almost tagged my babe. My babe is Lynn Shaw, and she passed away. I almost tagged her. Has that ever happened to you where you almost tag somebody and they have gone on, they're on the other side? I almost tagged her. It brought me a moment of something to my heart fluttered a little bit. So yes, and check. Yes, and done it. All right. I'm tagging some more folks. I want to just get the numbers up. There we go. She's that girl. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Karen is that girl. Yes, yes, yes. All right. Those of you that haven't, take a moment and click share, click share, click share, click share. All right. Yes, yes, yes. All right. Going to just tag a few more people. Want to get those numbers up. Want you to get, thank you. Christina says done. Thank you so much. Just invite a few of you folks. Yes, I was going to call Barbara. Valencia, I don't know you guys know. Your name is Sheila. Yes, your name is Valencia, but I ain't never called you Valencia in my life. Matter of fact, when I look for you on Facebook, I'm like, now where is Sheila? Because your name is Valencia, right? But I think of Barbara and Rodney all the time and think about, oh, let me call them. Anybody ever do that? You thinking about somebody that's gone and you're like, oh, let me call them. So I almost did that. I saw Lynn Shaw's name come up and I was like, oh, let me just tag her. But she's on the other side. Praise God. Okay, I am tagging just a few more folks. I want to get just a few more folks in the discussion. I hope you don't mind that. I'm just trying to build the audience and you'll help me build it organically as you start commenting. But just to get these numbers up to where we want to have them starting in this conversation, they're coming along pretty good. All right, they're coming along just fine. All right, let me get going. That's what I'm doing. I'm getting going. Okay, tagged a few people. All right, fantastic. Thank you, Corey. Couple classroom friends, wonderful. Listen, so I'm going to go to the post and read it. The post is very simple and straightforward. And let me preface it this way by saying, we are on a gratefulness challenge. Anybody accepted the gratefulness challenge? It is, now some people are on the gratefulness journey every day, but we're doubling back. For people that are unfamiliar with the gratefulness journey movement, we are doing weekly challenges. This week, from Tuesday through Saturday, we're challenging to do one gratefulness moment every day on, yes, senior social producer, on relationships this week. First week, we did those that have passed on. Last week, we did mentors, teachers, facilitators, professors. This week, it's people that you're in relationship with. And so let me tell you, and June, thank you, June, for joining. I hope you will click share and tag 5 of your closest Facebook friends, because I want to hear your take on this. I want to hear your take on this. My cousin, so on my dad's side, there were 13 of them. My dad was the second youngest, the baby boy. And he had a brother named Joe, my Uncle Joe, whose picture I did in my gratefulness moment. I was doing it of my dad as one of my mentors because he loved opening day and the Tigers. All of them did. But my Uncle Joe was in that picture. So my Uncle Joe has some grandchildren from his oldest son, Mickey, who I never had a chance to meet. And I think I've migrated closest to Robert, even though Robert and I are really just talking online. He's in Texas. And I'm grateful for the relationship because he's smashing the game and entertainment and music. And he's always availing himself to give me advice and different things about different things I'm doing with love and stuff. And so I just love who he is. I can see my Uncle Joe in him and I love it. And so I'm grateful for him today. And so he posted this post a few days ago and it got a lot of people commenting, and it made me go in the inbox and delve in there to say, we've talked about something similar. Let's see. Here's the post. Is it okay for men to have female friends? Is it okay for men to have female friends? Interesting question, right, ladies? And some of the comments, now I couldn't figure out how to do the memes. He's outside of Dallas. His name is Robert Bass Holmes, and I'm expecting him to come in to the room, and then I will bring him in. Hopefully I can get him on. He sometimes likes to be behind the scenes. And if you'll recall, one of his artists came on and did a set for us. That was my cousin whose artist came on and did a set for us. And so there are a number of different memes that they put up there, but a lot of the women said yes. Okay. One of the men, I won't say his name, I've invited all of them, but if they come, they do. He says, depend on what she looks like and shaped like. Let's keep it real. So ladies, I want to ask you this question. Would you be okay with your boyfriend, significant other, or husband? I'm going to say it that way. I think a significant other is a little bit more than a boyfriend. That's just my thinking. Don't let me get you caught up in semantics. But significant other, boyfriend, husband, would it matter to you if the woman was not a looker, if she was not good looking? So if she was not shapely and fine, would you be all right? Would it be a problem? Would you be okay more so than if she was shaped like a Coke bottle and looked good? Would that be a problem? A lot of the women said, I see Christine's laughing. A lot of the women said, yes, as long as boundaries are set and ain't no freaky, sneaky, or inappropriate text or inbox. My best friend has been my best friend over 30 years. Anybody had a best friend or have a best friend that's the opposite sex that's been your best friend for decades? Give me some likes or loves or drops in the comments. A lot of women said absolutely yes with boundaries. A few of the men said absolutely. A few men said my best friend is a woman that has been since 2004. I wish I could figure out how to give you this one meme, but one guy did a meme and he did like this. Like, keep it a secret. Keep it a secret. It took me clean out. Another guy says if she fine and look good, no. So ladies, here's another guy saying, now you know good and dang gone well. My dad would say it a little different, but you get the sentiment. You know good and Well, you couldn't have no fine female friend. Ladies, is that a problem? Best friend over 23 years. Yes, most of my friends are men. I have from age 14. Let me ask the three of you who are saying that, Christina, Evelyn, and Christina, among others, that say I got best friends, but you all seem to have a lot of best friends over years. How have the men that you have been in intimate relationships responded to that best friend? How have they been comfortable with it? Talk to me a little bit about that. And if you're willing to join us, Jay Gerald has put the link in the comments so that you'll be able to join us. And I hope that you will. I'm gonna go back to these comments of my cousin Robert Bass Holmes out of Texas, Dallas, Texas. All right, from Greenville, Mississippi. That's where our folks are from, Mississippi. Another woman says, definitely the wife girlfriend should be fully aware of who these women are. If married, a proper introduction should take place. I think that's great. Men as in what? Single men, married men, dating men? This matters for my answer. So does it matter whether you're married to him? Does it matter if he is boyfriend, significant other, or husband? Does that change? Does that change at all? Women are saying, sure, it's okay. Sure, it's okay. Depends on the length of the friendship. Yes, with respect and boundaries. Only if she ain't fine. I love that answer. One guy said maybe after 50. All of these are great, interesting answers. Why not if she's not, if it's not, why not if it's not, he's not natural as a man and she needs to check her insecurities, her securities. Someone even says, some of y'all need to stop. The main ones respond to be crossing the line. One guy said, a man should never be alone with female friends. I thought these were some interesting responses. Depending on the relationship you and your partner have, not my husband, all the friends he'll ever need, plus, one woman says, Jesus, he got 2 daughters and a sister and a mom-in-law and the granny, we all women he'll ever need. So I thought these were all great responses. Karen says, if you're bad enough to get what I have, then it was never mine. But trust, you will have to bring your A game together. Come on, A game. Okay. Very well, he was introduced at the beginning of my relationship. I think that's important. I let them know up front. And if they don't get it, there is probably another problem. Yes. And I'll just share in a personal note, you know, for fellas, and I want the fellas to chime in, for some fellas, because I think only in my life, not a braggadocious moment, but only in my life, I think I've only been really friend zoned one time. And so for some fellas, when you become friends, it wasn't what you started out to be. You have this desire to be with her and you're waiting for that moment to happen. You're watching her with all these guys you call busters and all of the things you might say about them. And you're the in-between guy who can spend time with her, hang out with her, make her feel better, affirm her when this foolish fool is fooled over her. And some guys have that experience and it morphs into a relationship, but he's always in the wings hoping for something different. I think that's a whole different scenario. And I think there is something that the two people have to address to solidify that friendship as just a friendship, because there are brothers, maybe not tons of them, but there are brothers who have been friend zoned, but they have the intent to get in the end zone. Okay. So I think that's an important note to factor in. I've only been friend zoned once, and I think maybe it was my ego that said, forget you, forgot you, never thought about you. That might have been a little bit of ego, but really friend zone with somebody that I really, really wanted to, be in the end zone, as it were. But I think you got to be careful in that regard, because some brothers are in the friend zone, but their end goal is the end zone. And so you got to be aware of that. If you're in a relationship with somebody who wants more out of the relationship than you're willing to or desire to put into it, because that's a different kind of dynamic when you're bringing in the relationship that you do want, right? That changes that whole dynamic. So I'm looking for those responses, but I think that's a little bit more nuanced discussion, because a brother knows if another brother is interested in his woman and or the woman he's involved in. And sometimes that is great news to him. It's an ego booster, and sometimes it's an aggravator and an agitator. So it could certainly way the wrong way on the relationship. But back in 2019, we did a show where the husband did not want his wife to be in relationship with her ex-husband. They had been divorced, had a terrible divorce, but they were co-parents and they had learned to be adults and co-parent well. And many years had passed since they were in relationship, and they became the best of friends. And he said, absolutely, this has to end because it can infringe upon the relationship. Okay? It can infringe upon the relationship. Boundaries and balance have to come into play. All right. Love that. Love that. So I want to ask the ladies, back to that earlier question. I wanted to hearken back to, does it matter? Does it matter if she is attractive? Does it matter if she is attractive? Can he have a female friend who is a brick? How? She's mad. Does that matter? Does that exacerbate it for you? Does that challenge you? Okay, Karen is saying no. Trust, she's gonna have to bring her A game. Gotcha. Yes. Somebody else, does that matter? Okay. And Jay Gerald, if you can get Valencia. Evelyn says she can't come in. Okay. Evelyn can't come in. I got you. All right. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for that. As long as she's respectful. Okay. As long as she's respectful. That would make two of us. There you go. Nope. Nope. It would not matter. Okay. It would not matter. Okay. Very good. Is there anybody that it would matter to you if the two of them had a prior intimate encounter or relationship? Would it matter to you if they tried it out and they just found out, hey, it didn't work out? For whatever reasons, they decided to become friends. Would that matter to you? The link to join me live is in the comments, and it's been pinned in the comments. All right, we got one taker. All right, we're going to get that one taker in, and I want you to be prepared to join us by clicking on the link. It's a real simple process. It'll get you right in with us. We are talking about, is it okay to have female friends? Ladies, is it okay for your male friend to have female friends? And fellas, I want to hear from you too. Is it okay for her to have female friends? No, because I have friends like that too. All right. No, because if it didn't work, it wasn't meant. Forward. All right. And Christina Smith has joined us. Hello, Christina Smith.
Hey, Marcus Holmes.
How are you?
Fantastic. How you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you. And thank you for joining us.
You're an author.
Say it again.
You're an author. You look like an author.
I'm sorry, what you say? What you say?
You're an author.
Oh, yes, I'm an author.
You look like one, too. You look like you got a couple books coming out soon.
I do, and this one is available right now on Amazon. Thank you for that plug. So let me ask you this. You said you have had male friends, best friend is a male. Have you had guys respond to you? Well, first of all, your best friend as a male, was there ever any romantic interest?
Of course.
Okay. When you say of course, that means that every male friend kind of had some romantic interest. Is that the norm with you?
It either was right away or later down the line.
Got you. Okay. So with your best male friend, when you dated other guys and you've also been married. So how did those men respond to your best friend, knowing that there used to be some kind of spark there?
They weren't worried because I'm not with that person.
Mm-hmm.
And I was upfront about it. So I say, I have a couple best friends. Recently, I had one best friend since Western Michigan. I was 17, and he tried to shoot his shot all these years down the line. And I let the person I was with know, like, this person trying to shoot their shot. What should I do? So I offered for a little bit of advice from the person I'm with.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was talking to people. My cousin raised this topic, and I started to talk to people in the inbox. And I was talking to one guy because I really believe this, that even if you friend zone a guy, he is still going to wait out until he gets a shot to get in the end zone.
Mhm.
He's going to wait
They're
his
gonna
time.
wait.
He's going to
They're
wait
gonna
his
wait.
time. And he's going to wait, you know, in just where he think is right in between that last bad guy. And he's going to be like, girl, all this time I've been here
I've
laying
been
in the
interested in you.
cut. I've been your friend. And you know what? We should be more than friends. I love you, boo. And boom, you know, he's shooting a shot. So,
Well,
but
it's like this. It's like, can we go out to lunch? You know, I haven't seen you in a while. Oh yeah, because y'all friends. Absolutely, it's been a while. You know, Happy New Year. Okay, happy birthday. And then they sitting there giving you the goofy, like, wait a minute, what's going on here? So I've been interested in you for a while. I know you're not with nobody, so it's like, yeah, but we're still friends. So that would be up to that woman to say, you know, we can no longer have this type of relationship. I am with somebody I love. I am with somebody that I cherish, and we can't have this friendship anymore. Because is it worth it? Because they're going to hang on. They're going to hang on until they get something from you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I've only been friend zoned once, and but I think it bruised my ego. So I was just, you know, I'm going to bring in Valencia Etner, who's joining us. Mama V, Eunice Hunter has joined us. I hope you will click share. We're talking about, hey there. We're talking about whether or not you can have female friends or male friends in this case. So, Mama V, you said you got a bunch of male friends, right?
I don't have a lot of female friends. So.
But you have a bunch of male friends? Is that?
I have a bunch of male friends.
Yeah. And so.
They've been my friends a long time too. I mean, it isn't new friendships or, you know, for the most part, you know.
Yeah. And so so with your fine self, when the guy who likes you is talking to you and your friend is like, yeah, remember that time?
Right. That's what they do.
Yeah, but let me tell you something. Everybody who's friend, know they friend.
Yeah, but you know what? Just to Christina's point though,
eventually,
with your fine self, Valencia, somebody is hanging out for his chance to get out of the end zone, to get in the end zone.
Most of them have already shot that shot. So therefore, if they were going to shoot it, they shot it, and it just did. It's something they did not.
They hold on to the next opportunity.
But they know if they my friend and they're really my friend, they know the truth.
I acknowledge that and I honor that. I just know this about some guys. They'll miss that first shot and come back for a layup 2 years later. All I'm saying is, it's like Baylor crushed Gonzaga, and Gonzaga's gonna come back next year.
This is the thing. Go on, Christina.
Okay, so I have friends, like I said, from high school, college. That's a long time. I'm not young. Okay. So we're talking about 25, 30 years that have been there through marriages, divorce, children, boyfriends. What I'm gonna do with this guy? Girls, cut them off. Yeah. And I'm thinking they just really nice, cool, good friends. They've never shot they shot ever.
In that cut.
And they like this.
Sitting in that cut. Yep.
Yeah. And even though sometimes after that, Christina, when you're like, you missed,
block,
they may come back for the next season. Is all I was saying to
well, I guess what I'm saying is
a little improvement.
It's really difficult for them if I say no. If I'm still in it, you know, if we're friends, but there's still a little something, then they probably could come back that way. But if I'm done, I'm one of those stick a fork in it people. If I'm for real done, I'm DONE.
Gotcha.
Because there's a reason.
So I'm saying, Valencia, so in that case, do you still communicate with them and they just in the background, or you done, like there's no calling, no texting?
No, there's no sexual innuendos. There's no, nothing more than my brother, and I'm clear with words like
So to
that.
them, though, in their mind, they not cut off though.
Then there's something wrong with them because the truth.
And so I want to transition that a bit, Christina. I want to transition that a bit and talk about boundaries, right? Because this is a discussion about boundaries that you have to set for people so that they understand what is and what isn't okay. Thank you, Valerie Grant, for joining us, and Christopher Jordan. I hope both of you will click share. I'm talking with Valencia Etner, who we call Mama V here, and Christina Smith about whether or not the opposite sex, whether you can have friends of the opposite sex as you're in relationship. So I want to first ask about boundaries. Are the boundaries different for boyfriend? And let me describe what I mean by these. Boyfriend, significant other, spouse. I see significant other as somebody that you're dating exclusively and heading towards something more covenant, okay? Just to clarify. So is it different boundaries with a boyfriend versus exclusivity a little bit more versus marriage?
I think there's another category.
Okay.
I think there's a dating category.
Mm-hmm. And to me, that's boyfriends.
No, because I can date you and there be nothing yet that says we're together. I think being a boyfriend means that there's at least a collection of stuff that's taking you towards something.
Like you talking about stuff.
Yeah,
interesting.
Sharing.
Interesting, because I was talking to, of course, some millennials, and they see that totally different.
They combine it.
You can have more than one boyfriend. Boyfriend is just boyfriend. You're dating this guy.
See, that's dating for me. That you can date more than one person.
Okay, so we're gonna put that for the sake of everybody. We're gonna put dating and boyfriend in one category.
Okay,
they group it
significant
together,
others in another category, and marriage. What do the boundaries look like in those when you have friends that are of the opposite sex?
I think there has to be communication, and you always know. Look, ain't nobody, especially if you grown for real grown, like for real grown,
mature.
You recognize when somebody is kind of going that way, you know. And if you want them to, then you let that slide. But if you are very strong about that boundary, you make sure they know, you know. But we blur the lines a lot because it's just who we are. You know, we kind of blur the lines, and I think that when you set clear boundaries, the lines are not blurred.
So I'm going to ask you. I'm going to double back to that. L. Andrew. L. Andrew Turner has joined us. Calvin B. Rowan has joined us. Thank you, gentlemen, both for joining. I hope you will click, share, and tag someone to join us. Bilal says men create the reality they believe, not the one that create it. Okay, Bilal, I need you to click on the link. But so let me ask this again. These different categories, are the boundaries the same? So describe for me in that dating boyfriend, when you're dating somebody or have a boyfriend, do they even know that you have male friends? How do they get introduced to male friends, and what's that like?
Introduce?
Yeah, probably. It depends on where we are.
I don't introduce. I'm gonna bring it up.
Okay.
I'm not gonna introduce.
And Christina, when you say you bring it up, you're gonna say, by the way, I got, my best friend is a man. How do you bring it up?
Okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead and throw it in with the women. I have not introduced my man to my lady friends, not exclusively. So I guess it depends on that friend. But and what level of friendship are you on to really make that important? So if this is like you got a guy friend and he's your only best friend, I get it.
Yeah. So this guy that he's your guy friend and he's a good friend.
He's a really good friend. He's close.
And you're dating this guy, maybe not exclusively, or you're dating different guys to Valencia's dating. So do you tell that guy that you're dating or those guys that you're dating about your best friend?
It depends on conversation. It depends on what comes up. If there's a conversation going on and, you mention that person more than once, then you might want to be clear that I'm not mentioning somebody else that's trying to beat your time, so to speak.
Right.
That this
they're
is
part of my life. They're my kids' God, father, brother.
Yeah.
So Valencia, to that point, if the name comes up and you click over and like, oh, that was Joe, I'll call him back. It's like, oh, who's Joe? I finish that phrase. How do you explain who Joe is?
My friend. We're friends.
They
may probably say, well, in the normal reaction to that is like
I give an explanation. I say my friend such and such from Western Michigan University. Yeah. We grew up, we hung out, but we don't really have that relationship right now. That was then. We just really good friends in a different level of friendship, because sometimes the longevity of the friendship is where I'm at.
Right.
Is this somebody that I've been friends with for 25 years? We were really close and hung out then, and now we got families and friends, and we don't do none of that. He's just a friend that I have in my life, but we don't interact in a way like that.
Yeah. So if I'm asking, is this, because I would probably, depending on how the inflection was about, that's my friend. It depends.
Right.
I might say friends like, what kind of friends? Friends like them, like the Bible say no. I mean, what kind of friends?
Well,
I might ask that. And so
my best male friend has been my friend all of my life.
Mm-hmm.
You know him. We've been friends all of my life. Mm-hmm. There was a time when we were more than friends, but that was decades ago.
Mm-hmm. So is that how you would say to the person that you're dating? Would you say it like that?
If we're just kicking it, so to speak, that's my oldest friend.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if he asks for more information, such as, hey, did you all ever date? Were you ever intimate?
Right. That might not be in that conversation zone because you just over here.
Yeah, but if he asks you that, are you going to tell him, hey, you just over here? Or what's the response going to be if he asks? Okay.
If we get to that point, we may be able to have that conversation, but we ain't there.
Got it.
Yeah, like Marcus said, they'll bring it. Say, well, this friend.
Well, it's like my daughter's on here. That's Karen. That's my kid. But listen, I mean, she knows. I mean, she adopted me when she was young, and I adopted her back. Marcus knows. But anyway, Karen will say this clearly: you have not earned management information. So if you have not earned management information, then you don't get management information. That's over your pay grade.
Yeah, I can see where somebody might be curious about it and ask
over their pay grade.
Okay, and so let's say the pay grade, they got a promotion, and now you're dating exclusively. Yeah. Is this an introduction that happens? Are you saying, well, let me just make sure you are okay with? I got a best friend or a friend that's dear to me. We were together many years ago, but there's none of that anymore. That was decades ago. Is that a conversation that you have? And do you begin to set any boundaries that makes that person feel comfortable once you're dating exclusive?
Because the person that I'm referring to is real good about that, he would probably be like, let me meet him. Because at this point, he's like, let me make sure he ain't fooling, and
Cause you beautiful.
I'm just saying, he probably would be like,
who that?
Let me. Who is he? And not because he has any interest at all, but because now we are like, I was the same way with him. Who is she?
Yeah.
So let her come wrong.
I'm similar to that. Now I do have a couple of female friends that would say they call it cock blocking. It really isn't. But I am the kind of friend that I do kind of more early on say, hey, let me just check them out because I know my friends. And I know sometimes I can see things that they don't see. Yep. So I might say, oh yeah, y'all been going out for 3 months. Well, why don't we all have coffee together?
I've done that. I've done that.
But sometimes we're like, no, we're not gonna have coffee together.
Because they know you, Marcus.
That's the kind of friend I am. Kind of the friend that says, "So, hey, do you know Jesus? Okay, what's your government name? Just curious. What did your mama name you? Just in case you got a record that I can search."
Come on, Otis.
But that might not be, I'm not advising anybody to do that. That's just where I got to get more love. I got to up my love game.
So
That's
listen,
where I get up
Marcus,
my love.
I had a guy friend that I met through banking, and I met his wife. Very beautiful couple, beautiful people in church, everything in Christ. And on the sideline, he's like, "But you really my friend." I'm like, "No, I'm both y'all friends." See, so that's the boundary. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm like,
the
"No, we're not going to lunch. We all going to lunch."
Got it.
And so, cause I was like this, and he was like this, no, yes. And so and then that faded away because I could not be exclusively his friend, even though I knew them both. He just wanted me to be his friend, not both of them. And I said, no, I can't do that. That's disrespectful. And you're not that important to me for me to single you out. She just as good on the level of friendship to me than you are. So you're both my friends.
Got it.
But he didn't want the both.
Yeah, I could see
because
that.
That's that secret hope wish.
Yeah,
Well,
let's
I
have
can
lunch.
see that.
Where
You
is
know,
your
you
wife
want-
coming with us? Yeah.
Mhm.
No.
Yeah, I can see
Those are real boundaries right
So
there.
it was like this.
Yeah.
Good day. Yeah.
Like I have a friend that he's still my friend. I have a friend in ministry. He's a ministry friend. And we became friends because of ministry, and he got married. And I make it a point to ask about her, make sure that she knows I've asked about her, to say something on her Facebook page to let her know that I'm rooting for them. You have to be very, very conscious and intentional because I don't need drama.
Yeah.
No.
I'm going to go to the comments real quick. Monique Tipton has joined us. Christina Friday Hooks, Devon Smith, and Tanya Embry. Welcome to Love and Stuff. I hope you will click, share, tag 5 of your closest friends, 5 of your more popular Facebook friends. We're talking from a post that Robert Bass Holmes, who is my cousin, posted, and then I delved in the inbox to see our last discussion around this about friends of the opposite sex. So we're talking to Valencia Edner and to Christina Smith about friends from the opposite sex. And I'm open. The link is there. We'd love to have a brother join us in on this conversation, just to add a little bit more to it. I was going to ask, when you're setting those boundaries, especially when somebody is getting married or gonna be married, that is your friend first, right? So you have this friend first, which is one of the 2 things I want to raise: friends before and you become friends after. But friends before, and there has been a very close relationship between the two. What's the discussion would be like with you if you were getting married with your male friend about boundaries for conversation to make sure that your husband was comfortable? Or your husband to be was comfortable?
I've had that conversation with my ex that and because I was upfront and discussed it, he was fine with it because he knew that now we're entering a friendship and we're entering an exclusive best friend in relationship all the time. So I said, well, I might have lunch with this person sometime. And matter of fact, it's one of my best friend's first cousins. So I might see him at events. That's fine. Yeah. So I think it depends on that person, the maturity level. If they're secure, I think I put in the comments, I'm secure with my self-esteem that I don't feel nobody gonna snatch my man or whatever. But at the same
time,
not
snatchable. People are not snatchable.
Yeah, they
are not snatchable.
They make themselves available.
They choose. They're not snatchable.
Yeah,
you can't snatch somebody who don't want them.
But if they weak enough, they looking, and you're not the only one they looking at, then it can happen. But you got to know that for yourself, the red flags, whatever. But once again, I think it's that person, how mature they are.
So what's the what was that conversation like again? I'm saying, as you're going into the next relationship, when you are friends with somebody else before you go into that relationship, what's that conversation like?
It's more like I have a male friend. We do have lunch sometimes. If you just want to make whatever that is, and is that okay? Are you all right with me having this type of friend in my life? If not, we'll discuss. Otherwise, we'll choose something else, because that relationship I'm in exclusively is more important at that time to me than this friendship.
But again, there are red flags when it's about control. When it's not about, you have to look at what's respect and what's control. Yeah. If you feel like this person who used to be in my life, still being in my life as a friend, disrespects you, I can honor that. Mm-hmm. But if it's because you want to control my movement, that's a whole nother story. Mm-hmm. So, because there's the old adage, especially if it hasn't gotten to exclusivity yet. There's that old adage that you might be the one today, but that's been my friend forever. So I'm not about to sever a tie for a maybe. Now we get to the point where we are beyond maybe. When we are, then that means it's time to do what Tanya said.
I agree with that.
For the introductions, it's time to say, this is one of my best friends, been in my life for blah, 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 blah. And I want you all to meet, period. I've been in a situation where I wanted a male friend to meet another male friend, and they became friends. And that was like, okay.
I've had that happen too. Or they knew each other. Oh, I know him. Oh, yeah. Okay. So we all friends here.
Okay. Elder Dana Samuel has joined us. Lena Brown has joined us. And again, Tanya says, I have made it a priority to introduce my male best friend when I knew my relationship was getting serious. Good point.
Absolutely.
And so we were talking about the serious relationship. How about once you're married and you meet someone of the opposite sex with whom you have a natural connection or you have commonalities with? How do you navigate that with your spouse and this new person?
I think that works both ways. I think that men have to be very careful with that. I've been in a situation where the clandestineness of it was my problem. If this is your friend, let them be your friend. But if you feel like you got to keep them in the closet, so to speak, that they're over here in this, then that's a question for me. Why do you have a need to keep them isolated?
Got it. Now let's flip it back over though to the question I'm asking you. If you were married and you met someone who you had a natural affinity for or connection to, how do you navigate that? How would you navigate
the same way I would expect it navigated for me? So it doesn't become my little special friend over here.
Okay.
So for me, well, I'll answer the question for me.
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to clarify for Valencia. I want to make sure I'm following. So you would do, what are the steps that you would do? I guess I'm asking.
Yeah. Like, for example, if it's someone I meet ministry wise, or someone at a event or something like that, and then I'm very clear with that person that I am in a committed relationship or married, and I make it a point to make sure they meet somehow in some way, because I don't want that. I don't want you to feel like, and so it's a dual boundary. It's a boundary for me, so that I don't have this secret place I can go when he makes me mad. Okay. And it's a boundary for that person, so that they know you're not my secret boo.
Okay. All right. Christina. Yeah.
I agree with all of that. My steps have been, because I've had this situation, and I'll also say in church, that I would say I am in love with him, and this is the relationship we have, but I would love for you to meet this person, my significant other, my husband, whatever, because and maybe you and your friend, whoever you're with, we can hang out, and we can all be cool, because guess what, he might even be a better friend with my spouse than we all would be cool together. So it would be more of an inclusive thing for me. I've done that, and then that person has been both of our friends. And it was like, okay, great. So, and then I think once again, like Winston saying, like it's how is this person that's being your friend approaching this? So are they just going to really be your friend, or is there a hidden agenda? So that's how you're going to find out if they're just going to be a friend to you in the ministry or otherwise. When you say, listen, I'm in love with this person. I'm literally, we are in a future driven, committed relationship. We have a business together. We this and that. But I wouldn't mind you meeting him. We all hook up, and whoever you're dating, or one day when you get someone, we can all hang out.
But
so
that checks everybody. That checks everybody. Right. So nobody has to.
You have
I gotta leave, y'all. I'm gonna try to come back. I got a little meeting I gotta go to, but I'll be back. All
right. Okay. So LaShawn England has joined us. Thanks so much, LaShawn, for joining us. I hope you will click share and tag someone to join us in the discussion. So another question that I wanted to raise. I'm trying to. Yes, thank you. Someone's inboxing. That would be good. Drop it in the comments though, so I don't have to navigate the inbox as well. All right. So in relationships, we talked a little bit about maturity, right? There are some people, right, Christina, who haven't had the experience where they've had platonic relationships with people of the opposite sex. Some people are not orientated to that. Some people are, some brothers are, I like her, want to pursue her, or I don't. And if I don't, then I'm not a friend, right?
Yep.
There are some guys that are like that. There are some women that are like that. If it's a guy, it's somebody that I liked or something. So how would you deal with someone who is kind of opposed to you having those friendships with opposite sex because they haven't been exposed to that, or that's not their experience? So they're used to guys having guy friends, girls having girlfriends, and not girls having guy friends and guys having girlfriends. They don't have any girlfriends. All of their friends are guys. Their friends are dudes. And so here you are with dude friends, and they're kind of like, hold on, wait a minute. How would you navigate that?
I will respect that. And then I will go to my male friend and say, the relationship I'm in, he's not quite comfortable with this. So, not to sideline you, I still love you as a friend. And if we're friends, we're friends. But I'm not going to probably debate with the one I'm in love with, whether I should have this friend. Because I know some people like, they're my friend. They always been my friend. And I get that. But if you're trying to build a relationship and a friendship with the one you're with, sometimes you have to respect those boundaries, or like you said, that uncertainty they might have, or something like that. They're not used to that. That's something that women should have women friends, and there's women like that. Guys should not have women friends. So I think you would respect their boundaries and their wishes, and slowly, maybe if that person is so important to you, that friendship, slowly get to that point of combining that relationship with the one you're with. Because I don't think it's worth and I think, like Tanya said, like, she made it a priority to do the introducing, and I'm pretty sure she had a discussion with this person and with this person. It wasn't just like, hey, everybody, kumbaya, let's get together. So you have to just kind of, if they're not used to that, that's okay.
Yeah.
Slowly build that relationship, not lose both people.
Yeah. I think if it got to a place where it was serious, I think we really be working on their exposure to my relationship with my friends. That's why I asked it earlier, because for me, my friends are gold.
Yes.
And
they're going to be your friends no matter what.
Yeah. If I'm living a great life, it's in part because I have great friends. And so as soon as I see that there's an inkling for me to really build a relationship, I'm acclimating the person that I'm in relationship with to my friends, because I need you to understand these people are going to be around. And I need you to understand, even though that's not your orientation, I need you to be open, because I need you to be open. Not that they're going to be in our business, or that you don't have to become great girlfriends with them. You don't have to do that, but you do have to know that they have their place and value in my life. And there is no rivalry between the two, but I'm not willing to give them up or you up, because I don't think I'm forsaking you for having them, or vice versa. So I think for me, and I've seen that situation play out where you can't have female friends. And I'm like, what do you mean? First of all, telling me you can't have makes me want to have more. Number one. But telling me that I can't have really, to me, oftentimes means that you can't have.
You can't have. Yeah.
It doesn't mean that I can't have. Yeah. It means that you can't have, or you've never been exposed to the reality that I can have. And so,
or they've gotten that from a past relationship, and then now they've adopted that behavior. So you're like, well, now you're in this relationship, and in this one, my friends are like family to me, and so that's just like cutting your family off. And to Valencia's point, it could be a controlling issue.
That's correct. Bilal says some pursuers hang out waiting for your partner to no longer be in the picture. I want you to come in, Bilal.
Come in, Bilal.
So we can have a little discussion about that. But I wonder that part of it, because sometimes that's the challenge for some couples. It's about compromise, because you haven't experienced it doesn't mean that it's a bad experience. Or because you haven't experienced it doesn't mean that it's the only experience. So you got to be careful. Tanya says, well, growing up in the church, there are many friends, families that are males, and it comes with the territory that I have males in my life. Yeah, Tanya, but you think of all of the people that didn't grow up in church. So Tanya grew up in the same church that I grew up. Bilal, I'm just going to ask you to click the link. That's all I'm going to ask you to do. Tanya grew up in the same place. So she's right. We have male friends, female friends. That's how we grew up in the church. But I can tell you, I have a number of friends, I guess I'll say, out in the world. Other friends that weren't churched, who are like, how come you have so many female friends? Because look at the dynamics of the church. So I'm going to have more. Number one, I'm handsome. Number two, I can sing. But number three, there are going to be a number of women around me. And if you stick around, one of them might like you, but just keep hanging around.
Just hang around, right. I'm a good guy. That's why they're around.
Orientation was, and one of my friends inboxed me, one of my childhood friends, I'm going to say her name. She's probably not going to like this part, but Joy Botiford Greer played better kickball and foursquare and punched harder than any of the boys on the block. And we could fight every day. I mean, we could go fist fighting every day and be friends the next morning. And sometimes she get the best of me and I get the best of her. And if I wanted to be in a fight, if I was caught in the alley, I'd rather be caught in the alley with Joy Botiford Greer, because she could fight and she wasn't afraid to fight, and she wasn't afraid to wrestle, and she wasn't afraid to dodgeball and get hit with the ball.
More than a guy friend.
More than a lot of the guys who cried.
They punked out.
Y'all playing too rough. I quit. And she'd be like, oh, we ain't playing with them no more. They ain't good. Don't play with them no more. Right? So, but if you don't have an orientation to that, you would be like, well, how do you have all of these mix of friends? Or it would be the same if you have Caucasian friends, if you have Asian friends. So my thing is, you got to be exposed. You got to open yourself up to say, okay, the way that I have lived, I have to bring into compromise with how somebody else has been nurtured and acclimated to live. Do you agree with that?
I agree with that 100%. But watch this. How about, I have been around a gentleman that didn't really have supposedly any friends, like one homeboy. And I was just like, really? So sometimes you look like, why this person don't have no friends?
That's true too.
Male or female, or in the church or not. So what's going on with you that you don't have nobody around? You don't want to be around you. So it can bring up some questions on why don't you have male or female, any kind of friend, a friend, dog, anything. You don't have nobody. So, and then it's like, okay, so now how this goes, now you're going to attach yourself to me and I just become your exclusive friend all the time. You texting me, you crying me, you doing this all the time. So it's like, come on, do you have any friends?
Yeah.
In the church, outside the church, somebody I can kick it with, talk to on the side about you. We can have lunch, and be friends, without you there. Because I guess I've had, in my experience in marriage, I've collected friends through, like you said, my partner.
Yeah.
Like his friends became my friends, and my friends became his. So you can be gaining.
Yeah, Imari Akua Jende. I hope I said that right because it's such a beautiful name. Absolutely. She says, I would never give up my friends some lifetime for a person who can't deal with it. I'm with you 1,000%. And I don't know, Imari, if it's because I have the most amazing friends in the entire world. And I'm sure many people feel that same way, but I promise you, I feel like I hit the lottery with friends.
Yeah,
and so for me to say, oh no, we will have boundaries, right? Mm-hmm. If I'm coming to them complaining about my significant other, it'd be like, hold up. Have you had this conversation? That's the kind of friends I have. They'll be, hold up.
They'll turn you around. Yeah.
Have you had this conversation? Because before you tell me stuff that I'm gonna be looking cockeyed and crazy at your significant
they're
other,
biased to you.
I want to make sure that you will, right? Bilal, click the link. Stop talking.
Bilal.
Okay. Vicky Johnson Williams is joining us. Thanks so much. I hope you will click share. I'm talking with Christina Smith and hopefully soon Bilal Muhammad about having friends of the opposite sex. So I want to go back to 2019. We're in our 4th year celebration, excited that we have been around 4 years. And I went delving into the inbox because I was like, we've had this discussion before somewhere. And we had it a little bit differently. That show was about it was about a husband and his wife and her ex-husband. So she was married previously, had a very horrible divorce, but about 5 years after the divorce, her and her ex-husband started to co-parent. And so they co-parented well for several years and they became friends. But the husband, once he got married to her, said, hey, you got to put some space in this friendship because, you're married now and used to be your husband. And I don't feel comfortable with that relationship. And she was like, no, it was over many years ago. And as a matter of fact, it ended very horribly, but he's a changed person. We're friends. I want you to meet him and become friends. He was like, no, he ain't my friend. He's your friend. Here are the boundaries. I don't want you calling him all the time. I don't want you talking about our relationship. I don't want you reliving what y'all did sexually. I don't even want to know nothing about it. And she was offended because she felt like, well, all you have to do is trust me. Even if you don't trust him, you have to trust me. How would you feel, Christine, if you were in a situation where you got married to a gentleman and he and his ex-wife were the best of friends when you guys started dating and got married, and you're like, okay, now this is really chummy, but I just need you to kind of put it in perspective. And he's like, this is one of my best friends. How would you feel about that?
I was invited to the wedding. We're going to go to my ex-wife's wedding. I was like, are we? So I said, no, thank you. Because they were chummy. This is my daughter's dad. Mm-hmm. And he was chummy with his ex. They didn't have kids together. Okay. But they've known each other since middle school. They dated exclusively in high school, a little bit after. Of course, we were older and all that, but she still went to his grandma's house, all that, ate Sunday dinner and all that still. So I said, well, that's not, I said, listen, I'm not going to interfere in your friendship. I'm fine because you guys were friends before me. You were together and you were married, all of that. I get that. And if that's somebody that you cherish in your life, go for it. Because I guess I'm secure with myself on that. And then I said, but don't invite me to events. That's just where my boundary was.
Got it.
That I did not want to be included in the marriage and family reunion and all of that he did. And he did all that. And and I think because I was not making a fuss about it and I didn't make it an issue, it was comfortable. So he didn't feel like he had to, can I please go and hang out with my girl? Because see, then, okay, so since they were friends still from school and on, they had friends together. So they were in a group to me, and it was like, okay, that's odd that he can't go hang out with his friends that he was hanging out before me, even though she's in the group. That's fine. And he was fine, and it was never an issue.
Yeah, I think that
but
takes.
I make my boundaries.
I think it does take a certain level of maturity and security to be able to do that, because a lot of people would say, "Oh, hecky no."
Yeah, it made our relationship smoother in that category. And plus, guess what? I had guy friends, so it was like if I wanted to go have dinner with such and such, because he is a really good friend of mine. He shares a birthday with my mother. They hang out on their birthday. Would you have a problem? No, absolutely not. So you have to share that and expect, hopefully, that person will give you that same latitude and that same privilege to still be a friend with somebody that was already in your life, that you said that helped shape you, ground you, that you went to in certain moments when you had your first kid, when you were raising somebody, or when you were doing things that was important. They were there, right? So I felt like his ex, that was fine. I didn't want to go to the wedding, though, and I didn't want to go to her family reunion, but that was just me. And I didn't think he would want to go to one of my guy friends' reunions and weddings and things like that. Once again, that I've probably had a relationship with. So it's a maturity level, and then it's also being secure within yourself.
Yeah. I want to ask you about those guy friends. Can those guy friends talk to you about their wives? Can they share intimate details with you about their wives? Are you comfortable hearing those intimate details, or do you think
if they're intimate,
there are things that you shouldn't talk about?
If there most of the time, I think in our friendship, it would be I don't allow negativity. So you cannot put this person down with me. Like, you can't say, oh, she did this and that to me. I say, well, what did you do? You know, and then if there's some advice to be given, I say, well, what your homeboy say? Or are you trying to get a woman's perspective? So I wouldn't make it a point to be in the business. And yes, I don't want that much information. But if you feel you need to tell me all that, okay, well, do your wife know that you're telling me all of this?
Yeah, that's good. I was going to ask you, if he is saying, you know, our sex life just is not good like it used to be, and she's just not that into it anymore, is that a conversation that he can have with you, or should he?
I've had that conversation, but it was more of listening. I was like, oh, okay. Because I've had somebody tell me, well, he probably saying that to you because he wants to. You'll say, well, what's up? What up, though? And I was like, I just was like this. Oh my goodness, really? Oh, you know. So it's that person. So if I was still interested, he kind of see, okay, is she still interested, or is she interested? Will she say, hey, well, you know, meet me at the Motel 6? No, one guy was telling me his wife was mad at him, and that I had a friend with, and I said, well, okay. And he said, well, what do you think I'll do? I said, well, you should kick the door down naked and give it to her. I mean, I don't know. Bring her some flowers.
Right.
Take her out. Why is she mad? Well, her baby daddy, blah, 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 and he may be mad. Well, maybe all three of you should sit down, since you all three share children, or maybe get some counseling. So the counseling where they all take you in different rooms, they have that. And then you discuss with one person, and then they all come back. What is a mediation? And they come back and say, well, listen, your ex-wife, your boyfriend, whatever, your baby daddy, they feel this way. So maybe you should not take it in your own hands, because it can get emotional, right? Because this is now your woman, and now the baby daddy acted up and you involved, and she can't handle it. So maybe she gets a mediation because there's children involved. So sometimes you have to think outside of your friendship and say, well, do you think that's the best thing? And maybe you should get somebody else more professional to talk about this. Have you talked to your doctor about your infidelity? I'm not a doctor. So yeah, some people take those issues and they make them personal, and sometimes you should not. You should maybe guide them to your pastor or a guy friend. Oh, hey, have you talked to your buddy or your brother James about that? So you might not be equipped because they're looking to see, like Bilal said, hey, are you interested?
Yeah. Yeah. So the last thing before I let you go, I want to know if you noticed that your best friend's wife was insecure about you. She was like, "Oh, Christina's beautiful. She's attractive. She's Bible figure. I don't feel comfortable. If you noticed that, how would you handle it?
I don't want to talk to her.
And what would you say to her?
I would say that if you're not comfortable with me as a friend to your husband, in this case, then we can all be, like it doesn't, if he put me on the phone, he got to put me on speaker. Okay. If we're going out to lunch, we all got to go out to lunch. So I would kind of I would put myself in her shoes and say, in no way does my look or, me being too friendly or whatever, I want this to affect you and your husband. Me and your husband are friends. Okay. In this case, but I care about him enough that I want your relationship to be fantastic. I think you have a great union. I do not want my whatever this is that you have for me to hinder the love and relationship that you have, because I'm very excited that he found someone like you. And I think you're beautiful and I think you have a nice shape. So he exclusively picked you, not me. He married you, not me, so it would be more of a reassurance and to bring her closer to me so that she's more comfortable if she had to come to me and say, hey, write to me. Because a lot of times, I'm going to say this, men and or women, I think especially men in my case, they'll channel that. Well, I'll tell Christina. I'll talk to Christina about that. So when you kind of break that, roll it off and kind of give a connection right to that other individual and say, hey, we can have a relationship too, slowly or whatever you would like. And then if she's like, well, you know what? I don't want you, in my man's life. Well, that would be something that she's dealing with in herself, right? That would be something that she needs to deal with on her own with herself. So then I would say, listen, y'all need to get some counseling. Maybe it's a deeper issue than me. It could be something within herself or within your marriage, and she don't trust you, so she just don't trust you with a woman friend, with a woman church friend, anything. So you gotta. I've had that where the woman said, "Well, I don't want you to have no woman friends, it's not whatever." But it came down to be that she had an issue with trust. Period. It could have been me or anybody. It could have been a mother of the church. She just did not trust this person with anybody. So now you're going to have to dive into the real issue, which is a trust issue.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Christina, for joining us. I appreciate you so much.
All right, Arthur.
Thank you so much. And Christina is the owner of Powerful Money Tools, LLC. If you are in 2020 trying to get your finances together, inbox Christina or go to Powerful Money Tools, LLC and follow there for great information. She's a partner to the Love and Stuff community, and we love the work that she's doing. So get your life, get your financial life with Christina. All right. Thank you, Christina.
Bye.
I think that was excellent having Christina and Valencia on. And I just want to, before we go, it's 9:43 and wrap up. I want to say to the brothers, I know that there are brothers that are in the friend zone and you're waiting for your turn to get to the end zone. But if you're not in the end zone, don't block that brother that's in the end zone. If you can maintain a platonic relationship with that woman, do it. If you can't, be honest. Maybe your chance to shoot your shot will come. But how would you feel if there was another brother in the way with the ball that you wanted? You follow what I'm saying? So don't get in that. Don't position yourself that way. And I know sisters can friend zone a ton of brothers. but you have to have open and honest communication and dialogue about the state and status of your relationship. And don't tell yourself a narrative that isn't true about your stance in a relationship if it just isn't true. Doesn't mean that it won't be true, but maybe instead of holding that torch, you'll take that torch and light yourself so that some other sister will see your value. And sisters, be mindful that there's a whole group of brothers out there. And brothers, be mindful there's a whole group of sisters out there who do not have a security level or maturity level or the orientation around opposite sex friends. And you're going to have to be patient with that, hopefully, and compromise to some extent as you grow that relationship to make it exclusive. You got to be mindful that people haven't all had the same experiences that you have. Not everybody grew up with opposite sex friends. And so where they haven't, it's an important communication structure that you need to put in place to make sure that that person feels comfortable as your relationship grows. Sometimes people just need exposure to things that they've never seen so that they can be those things that they've never seen. Some people have not been orientated to understand the dynamics of a platonic opposite relationship. And so non-sexual relationship. And even if at some point, as some people have shared so candidly here, even if at some point it was, and people have closed the door, you've got to develop the kind of trust and security that you understand that your partner has closed the door. But boundaries would be important, and communication is paramount when you're in the relationship and growing a relationship, a loving, productive relationship, that you understand that there are others on the periphery of that relationship who should not directly impact it in a way that will cause any harm to you or the person that you're with. We love and stuff, and love is really, God is love. He is the quintessential love. And he loves you and I so much that he willed us a life of love, so much that he wants us to reciprocate that love back to him, and so much that he wants us to mirror that love for ourselves. Think about that for a moment. God wants you to love yourself and use that love after it's been infused with his love to love your neighbor. Think of the depth and the breadth of that kind of love. That kind of love, if you're growing in love to yourself, requires some patience, some communication, some affirmation, and some grace. And if you can apply those to your magic potion of love, your love quotient, shouldn't you apply them also to those that you love? See, everybody's journey in this love experience is different. And if we really want to be about the business of loving, we've got to be awakened to that there are people that don't know the capacity of love that you know. And there are people that don't really know the capacity of love for themselves. Are you open and willing? Are you working on your security and surety of self to be able to deal with others that might not be as secure or mature to deal with you? That's what this love of opposite sex relationships really does hinge upon, even if there was some prior relationship. Two adults can close a door and move forward in a different vein of a relationship without staining any other relationships. It's not easy necessarily to do, especially if the maturity and security aren't there. But it's something that you can work at. And if you're adding someone new to the equation, you have to give grace and space for how they feel, their insecurities, their maturity, or maybe lack thereof, around these types of relationships. And that's how you up your love game. You might be on a great path to loving, but the person that you meet on the intersection may not have come into loving of their own. How much grace How much patience are you willing to invest in that relationship? It's been a wonderful loving stuff. Again, I want you to join us on the Gratefulness Challenge this week. We're talking about relationships. We want you to post one per day between tonight and Saturday afternoon. Who are you grateful for? What relationship do you have in your life that you are grateful for? Make a post about it. You might even share that person's picture or share some lesson that you've learned from that relationship. Again, for me today, mine is Robert Bass Holmes. He's the reason that this topic was revived today. He's my cousin who is from Mississippi. I call it Mississippi, but who lives in Dallas. And we haven't yet met in person. He is my cousin once removed from my Uncle Joe, one of my favorite uncles who I loved, who used to call me Kiddo. He called all of us Kiddo. And the men in the Holmes family all kissed. And so my uncle would kiss you on the cheek or on the forehead and say, hey, kiddo, what you know good. And I have wonderful memories of my Uncle Joe, who was one of my dad's older brothers, slightly older, but right around the same age. And they loved baseball. And so here is my Uncle Joe's grandson, Robert, who reminds me of that great spirit of his granddad. And I'm grateful for him today and our connection. It's just that simple. A gratefulness moment each day. We do it for 5 days, Tuesday through Saturday. And then Saturday at 3 p.m., we'll come live and we'll do the Gratefulness Journey Challenge discussion where you will share, hopefully, your highlights of the week. See, what gratefulness does is it makes you take an inventory of everything you have left. And some of the things that you have left are precious, powerful memories of what you had before. You can bring those memories into the present, feel them in an awe-inspiring moment, and power you forward to have gratefulness every day. I don't know about you, but I want to live a more grateful life because I've experienced so much loss. I want to be grateful for everything that I have and everybody that I have left. So we want you to join us on the Gratefulness Challenge. One thing you're grateful for every day, starting today through Saturday, around relationships. This week is relationships. People that you are grateful that they are in your life, just like I share with Robert Bass Holmes. And as we go to the close, the Gratefulness Journey Everyday book is available on Amazon. You can purchase it. We'll drop the link in the comments. You can get the paperback or you can get the ebook. It will bless your life. And so we're grateful that you have joined us tonight. Thank you so much for being with us. I appreciate all of you for joining. I hope you will click share, tag someone to keep the conversation going. Can you have female friends, fellas? Ladies, can you have male friends? Is it healthy for your relationship? Let's keep the dialogue going. And we want to keep the dialogue going because if just one person is dealing with what we're talking about, your perspective, your comment might awaken them to thinking about their situation differently. We're all on a journey to up our love game. Maybe it is to find that significant other or spouse. Maybe it's to repair a broken relationship or marriage. Maybe it's to learn to live and co-parent with that ex-husband or ex-wife. Maybe it is to fix relationships with your siblings or with your children or with your nieces or nephews, your uncles or aunts, big mama and grandmama now. We all could up our love game, right? It's that coworker. It's that person that you just don't think that you can stand. There's something beneath that layer. And if you up your love game, you'll find a way to love even the people that you have deemed unlovable. Remember, someone could deem you and I unlovable, but God so loved us. He hasn't given up on us. And I don't want you to give up on love either. I'm Marcus Holmes. Follow us on the Love and Stuff page by clicking follow. Great community to be in. There are some amazing people here, and I want you to be connected to them so that you will be in a place filled with love. That's where we are. No judgment. There's enough judgment in our world. come to the Love and Stuff community and be in a place that's going to help you propel your love forward. The world, now I would say the world needs a guilty verdict for this guy in Minnesota. I'm sorry, I will say that. The world doesn't need, we hear today that, which we already knew this, but it's a point of hysteria for some that you can be fully vaccinated and still contract COVID-19. Yep. We knew that because it's not 100% effective. Anything that isn't means that there's a chance you could, right? So the world could use a stronger vaccine, sure, right? The world could use more job opportunities for people of color, particularly African Americans in the C-suite, right? And it could use more parity for women in employment, right? I'm talking from my human resources. But I promise you, what the world really needs is more love. And if you and I have it, and if we up our love game, we're this much closer to increasing the amount of love in the world. Come with us on an extraordinary journey in the Love and Stuff community as we up our love game. Have a grateful evening. I hope you're joining us on the Gratefulness Challenge, and we will see you Saturday afternoon at 3 p.m. for those of you that are. Have a great evening.